Welcome to Everlasting Talk. Hello, welcome to Everlasting Talk. I'm your host, Evaristo, and this is the Biography Series. Today in the Biography Series, we are talking about Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu was one of the most influential military generals, tacticians, writers, and philosophers of Eastern philosophy, and wrote the well-known book, The Art of War. It's credited as the catalyst for military combat for centuries after his death and to this day. Sun Tzu was born in 54 BC in China during the Qi or Wu kingdom, not sure which one at the time. Still the debate to this day about that actually. There are many who think he never existed and his book was just a compilation of multiple people, multiple generals. His birth name was Sun Wu, meaning master son. There are stories of his strategies and his victories on the battlefield. Many historians state that his tactics were very effective, and he was successful. He was a successful general and military strategist. The debate of his existence and time frame of birth and life still keep people skeptical due to the lack of many books mentioning him. So there's not many books about him, like where his exploits and such. Regardless, the Art of War is still an amazing read and considered an influential book for centuries. The book itself is considered confusing by Westerners due to the Taoist context in the book. So it's very Taoistic principles. In 1972, actually, extra writings were discovered, helping the notion that it was written by multiple people. Sun Tzu's work has inspired the Qin dynasty, Mao Zedong of the Communist Revolution, Ho Chi Minh, and many others. Even U.S. military generals such as Norman, I can't say his name, Schwarzenkoff, and even Colin Powell in military strategy. Sun Tzu has allegedly never lost a battle in his 40-year career as a general. I can continue talking about his life. Many will disagree even if he was alive. He was depending on it's depending on who you ask, to be honest. He died around allegedly 496 BC. Cause unknown. No one knows for sure. I would definitely recommend The Art of War. Still a good read. Some of the quotes that I really like looking into was, he will win. He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. In the midst of chaos, there's also opportunity. I definitely recommend this the book Art of War. So if you want a recommendation for books, definitely The Art of War. I love his book. I read it before. It's amazing. Obviously, like right now, there's still things being discovered about him. So it's the thing is that people think there's multiple beliefs because there's no actual, like, I don't know, like if you knew someone existed, you would be like, there would be something about him, but there's multiple books that say he's not. I know I mentioned this already in this episode, but he's had like about 2 to 3 children. So he's very, like very mysterious. So it's kind of still, and there's a statue of him. If you see anything on the Art of War itself, there's an old statue about him. That's how allegedly he looks. So he's definitely someone to pique an interest about, because you never know, what he's about and such. It looks like his book's been made multiple times. So if you're gonna read a book, there's definitely several out there. There's been like the Art of War compilation. There's a graphic novel. There's classics. There's so many books about his book himself. There's A Way of the Warrior that came out. Essentials of War, The Essential Art of War, The Art of Management. There's there's so many books inspired by him. There's Sun Tzu 360, Revealing His Secrets. Look into that. I'll definitely look into that as well. There's corporate, and people use it in corporate strategies. I think he also inspired the 48 Laws of Power. So there's all these books like all this book is from like, I don't know how long ago is 544 BC or 400 BC is like 1,000 years ago or more. Oh yeah, over 2,000 years ago. It's still inspiring to this day. So, I mean, also there's other quotes that I liked. All warfare is based on deception. Um, from the art of war, the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. So it's all psychological. So it's so all these tactics have been used throughout centuries. Like I mentioned, you know, I mean, Mao Zedong. I mean, he eventually went ahead and took over China and what his government is today. Ho Chi Minh, the same thing. He eventually took over the country little by little, and Vietnam, it is what it is today. Colin Powell eventually became Secretary of State. So all these different readings. I mean, I'll definitely look into more into him. I know I kept this episode short because there's not a lot about him. I mean, I would do more. I did more research, but there's not a lot, to be honest. And it's because he's so mysterious. So even if I gave you 30 minutes of him, I'll be repeating myself like I'm doing right now. So yeah, I mean, Sun Tzu, I would definitely check out his book. There's also different copies out there, so you always look at the one you like the most. But just get the regular Art of War, and if anything new is discovered about him, I'll definitely mention it. You could check it out. I'll definitely be posting stuff on my Instagram at EvarlastingTalk, and or Twitter. So thank you so much, guys. And this is Everlasting Talk with your host Evaristo, and hopefully you enjoyed this short episode. And thank you, and have a good rest of your day. Bye bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of Everlasting Talk. For more content, follow us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram at Everlasting Talk. Thank you.